Good evening, everyone. We're going to be together for a few more minutes, so we're going to have a little more enthusiasm, hopefully, than that. So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Oh, man, huge difference. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to the 2019 High School Student Race Relations Forum. My name is Wanda Allen Aberha. I'm the Director of the Human Relations Department with the City of Winston-Salem, and I have beside me Ms. Ruth Sarton. She's actually Commissioner Ruth Sarton, and she chairs the the Community Relations Committee for the Human Relations Commission. And so we are both excited and delighted to have you here today. Commissioner Sarton just finished meeting our young folks on the panel. We're both very excited about the students that we have here to our left. They are ready, and they are quite capable of speaking with you about their insights when it comes to interracial friendships. But without further ado, we wanted to welcome and introduce to some of you Dr. Karen Roseboro. Dr. Roseboro is Assistant Superintendent for Instruction with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. Can we please give her a round of applause?
Well, good evening, everyone. I am just delighted to be here and to be among some of our best and brightest students in Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District. And as you heard in the introduction, I am Dr. Karen Roseboro, and I am the Assistant Superintendent for School Transformation. I also have a dual role of being the liaison for the school board on all things related to culture, climate, and equity for students. And so this is a very special night for me in particular because I once sat where you are, and a lot of people don't know that, so I didn't tell Ms. Wanda the whole story, but I am a product of Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System, and I served on the first superintendent student council under Dr. Martin. I was his first group, and I also participated in a number of human relations activities as a student. With that being said, it is a remarkable time in education in Winston-Salem Forsyth because we will be opening our first Office of Equity at the district office level, and it is for our students. We saw the need, and we also heard the cry from many of our students that are experiencing diversity issues, race relations, and inclusion issues. And we know that many of our educators, we pretend to be the doers and the know, and to be in the know of all things, but we don't know all things. And who best to teach us than our students, which I'm sure we're going to get an education tonight on what's really going on in our schools in terms of their relationships. But we believe that within this school district that all of our students deserve to achieve and excel despite their zip codes. No matter what end of the county they live on, or no matter what walks of life they are currently in, where you start may not be where you end up. And so what we strive to do is put exemplars in front of our students, and I consider myself one of those former students. I grew up in East Winston in Southgate Apartments of what is possible. You can achieve anything, but most importantly, we want you to come back and give back to our local community because you know firsthand what makes us a great city, but you also are the future into building great relationships across 52. And so only the people that have been immersed in this city truly understand the challenges that we face. But we are a community of great leaders, great community organizers, and also great educators. And so we look forward to hearing you. We've heard from you guys at school board meetings. You guys have come out and truly advocated for an improvement in racial equity in our district, and we truly appreciate that. We can't do better unless we serve the customers, and you are our customers. So I look forward to hearing from you tonight and sharing that information to all of those adults that are sitting around the table making decisions on your behalf. And just know that you have a friend at the table that truly do understand some of those challenges, because at the heart, it's about student service, okay? So thank you again for being here tonight and sharing your insights. And thank you to all of our community leaders and parents who are here to support our parents as well. But I bring you greetings also on behalf of our new superintendent, who is very passionate about equity in education as well, Dr. Angela Pringle Harrison. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Roseboro. Next, I would like to have Ms. Mary Junka come to the podium. And while Mary is coming up, I would just like to really sing her praises. This is someone who has been very involved and immersed in our local community for a number of years. I think we both knew of each other before we actually knew each other. And she has done a lot of remarkable and groundbreaking work here in Winston-Salem. I'm hoping she'll talk about that, but I bet she won't. But she should. She really should. And so in her role here at the Forsyth County Library, we as a community are really blessed to have her in this role. And we're very thankful from the Human Relations Department and Commission to have had her to contact us about this partnership that we're doing tonight, because the High School Race Relations Forum is not just something that we're doing as City of Winston-Salem City Government. We are doing it as partners with the Forsyth County Central Library. And the reason for that, she will tell you about, I'm sure, but I really just wanted to publicly thank her and acknowledge the fact that we really do appreciate and value that partnership with Forsyth County. Ms. Junka?
Good evening and welcome to the Central Library. We hope if you're here for the first time that you'll want to come back again and discover all the wonderful resources and classes and programs that we offer. On your way out, there's a program guide to on the same page, which is our community read. It's the reason that we're partnering with the Human Relations Department on this program. Every year for 18 years, the library has selected a book that we suggest the community read because we think it has some themes that are relevant to our community. This year's book is Speak No Evil. It's by Uzodimna Owala. And at the heart of the book is a story about an interracial friendship between two high school students. So you can see the tie immediately. The novel opens with Niru, who is a first-generation born in America Nigerian student on his way to Harvard. His best friend is Meredith, who's a privileged white student. They're students at a prep school in Washington, D.C. And their friendship sets in motion the whole book, culminating in a shocking turn of events. So we hope that you'll be moved to check out the book and read that book, and that you'll enjoy tonight's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Junka. And again, on behalf of the City of Winston-Salem, we would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight, and particularly we'd like to thank our student panelists, because I'm thanking you in advance for what I know will be a dynamic dialogue and conversation. So thank you. I would be remiss if I did not also acknowledge the city's marketing and communications team who is with us tonight. You will see a myriad of cameras and computer screens and wires and all kinds of interesting things, and most of which are from our marketing and communications department. And so Frank, Joey, Larry, Katie, thank you so much for working so hard with us and for us with this program. You do that every year. And I know that you will have this available on WSTV 13 and on YouTube. And it will probably be on Facebook and Twitter, maybe. I might be speaking a little out of line there, but you'll see it on social media, let's put it that way. And so for anyone who wasn't able to join us tonight, you can direct them to one of those resources so that they can see tonight's program. Also, I would like to acknowledge that we have Human Relations Commissioners with us, one of whom you've already met, and that is Ruth Sarton, who is over in the doorway, Commissioner Ruth Sarton. And we also have Commissioner Sylvia Durant with us. And Sylvia, could you stand and wave as well? And last but certainly not least, my staff. My staff is, I call them the A-team. That's their new little nickname now that I have for them, because truly they are my right arm. I could not do anything without my staff, clearly. And so I would like to thank Jamie Waldeck, who is over to my left. Jamie, stand and wave so they can see you. Jamie is our outreach specialist. She does a phenomenal job for us. Also, we have Adolfo Bursenio somewhere in the room. Adolfo, would you please stand and wave? Adolfo is an investigator. And we have Carlin Duncan, who is standing beside Commissioner Sarton with the red blouse on. Carlin, thank you for all that you do as well. And we are short-staffed these days, so that's it for the staff that I have here tonight. And so, again, I'd like to thank them for all they do each and every day. So, human relations, what is that? And what does that have to do with tonight? So, human relations, the department anyway, and the commission for that matter, we are responsible for making sure that people have productive and meaningful relationships in our city. I mean, that's in a huge nutshell. But we do that by way of kind of a three-pronged approach. The first approach being we investigate claims of discrimination that mainly and primarily focus on housing discrimination. And so if people believe that they are being discriminated against when they are purchasing a home or renting a home or trying to obtain a loan to purchase a home, then they would come to us, they would file a complaint, and we actually have the enforcement authority that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, would have here locally in the city of Winston-Salem. So all I'm saying is we enforce the fair housing law. That's what we do. That's the one prong that we do. Second prong is we investigate landlord-tenant complaints. So if you are a renter and you are having problems with your landlord, or maybe even problems with the neighbor, depending on the type of problem you're having, we would mediate those types of complaints. So we would try to assist either the landlord or the tenant to get those complaints resolved. Okay, so that's the second prong. The third prong is cultural diversity and inclusion, which definitely encompasses tonight. And so we enforce the limited English proficiency regulations for the city to make sure that we are in compliance with the LEP mandates from the federal government. And we have fun things like tonight. We put on programs that focus on culture, race relations, inclusion, and diversity. And so this, again, is one of the times we get to do that with our youth population, which we do each and every year in September. And so tonight is a real treat for us. And as a part of our youth outreach, we administer and manage the Youth Advisory Council. And I have two youth advisory veterans sitting in front of me. And these two, Ms. Portia and Mr. Aiden, you're going to hear from. They will be facilitating tonight's discussion with their peers. And so we're really thrilled to administer YAC, or the Youth Advisory Council, the College Advisory Board, which is their sister board but comprised of college students, and also the Human Relations Commission. You've met two of the commissioners tonight, and a new board called the African American Heritage Initiative. And that board will focus on the history of African Americans here in the city of Winston-Salem. And so that is a brand new board. You will hear more about it, I'm sure, in the coming months. So I could go on and on about what we do, but I wanted to give you an overview and a quick snapshot of what human relations is all about with city government. Okay? So again, welcome. We appreciate your time. And I am now going to turn the microphone over and the remainder of the evening over to Portia and Aiden. Would you all please come on up and co-facilitate?
Hi, everyone. I'm Aiden McCarthy. I'm a senior at Reagan High School. This is my third year on the Youth Advisory Council, and I'm here with...
My name is Portia Smith. I am with the Youth Advisory Council. This is my second year, and I'm here representing my school, Winston-Salem Prep.
So tonight we're just going to start out with some questions. The first one being... Actually, we're going to do introductions first. So we'll start over here, and if you could just, if you could tell us your name, your school, and your grade level, that would be great.
All right, so my name is Jesus Jimenez. I am a senior, and I go to Atkins High School.
I'm Jackie Nikas. I'm also a senior, and I go to Atkins High School.
I'm Sean Kirby. I'm a senior, and I go to Middle College of Forsyth.
My name is Najee Belcher. I'm a senior at Walkerton High School, and I'm proud to say I'm the class of 2020. My name is Malia Williams. I am a senior and I go to East Forsyth.
My name is Catherine King. I'm a senior and I go to East Forsyth High School.
My name is Mackenzie Leonard. I'm a senior and I go to Reagan High School.
My name is Lucas Ramirez. I'm a senior and I go to Reagan High School.
My name is Tamara Smith. I'm a junior and I go to Reynolds.
My name is Stephen Sullivan. I am a junior and I go to Reynolds.
My name is Karen Valdez and I go to West and I'm a junior.
I'm Gabriella Lloyd. I'm a junior at Mount Tabor.
I'm Carlos Palomo. I'm a senior and I go to Mount Tabor.
My name is Jaron Scott. I go to West Forsyth and I'm a senior.
My name is Sofia Maldonado. I'm a senior in Parkland High School.
My name is Jaws Rhea. I'm a senior and I attend Carver High School.
My name is Monet Reynolds. I too am a senior and I go to Carver High School.
My name is Ashley Perez. I'm a senior at Carver High School.
My name is Kennedy Jarvis. I'm a freshman at John F. Kennedy High School.
My name is Giselle Guerrero. I'm a sophomore and I go to Kennedy High School.
My name is Steven. I'm a senior at Carver High School.
My name is Jackson Monell. I'm a sophomore from Parkland High School.
My name is Ovid Salazar, and I'm a sophomore, and I go to Walkerton High School.
My name is Jahara Fonseca. I'm a junior and I go to Glen High School.
My name is Jada Newsome, and I'm a junior and I go to Glen High School.
One thing that I forgot to mention is if anyone here is actually on the Youth Advisory Council as well, if you could please stand. Now, one thing before we get into the questions is that whenever you are answering a question, if you could please stand up and just speak clearly into the microphone. That way, it'll just be easier for the TV aspect of this to run smooth. So let's see. Our first question is, what does diversity mean to you? And if you'd like to answer, you can just raise your hand.
I'm sorry. Diversity to me, whenever you think about diversity, you think about ethnicities and what your race is. And I'm going to admit I also think that too. But when you dive more into what diversity really means, it deals with the shape of who you are, what you do, your hobbies, what you're interested in. It's not only about your ethnicity or your race. It's about your language you speak, the culture behind you, and that's what diversity means to me.
Diversity means to me that people of different cultures, backgrounds, languages spoken, coming together and knowing that they have differences but finding things in common.
Did anyone else would like to answer that question? Okay, so we're on to our next question. How do you think diversity affects your school environment?
Okay, so for me, I have moved to North Carolina about almost 3 years ago now, and school is very different everywhere. For me, I grew up Mexican, so a lot of teachers believe that you don't really understand everything they are teaching you, and you are just behind. And that doesn't have to do with a lot of just Hispanics, but it has to do with a lot of other races as well. And they say they treat everyone equally, and they believe they do, but it's not always like that.
Just to tag along with what she said, I believe that it affects students and how they think about certain things. Like students will go off into certain groups, and sometimes it can be positive and sometimes it's negative, but most of the time the outcome is negative, and I believe that it can change by just like a simple introduction. So.
All right. Well, I mean, I go to Mount Tabor, so we see a little bit of everything. I think that diversity plays a big role in our school because I get to meet a lot of people and I get to learn a lot of new things. There are certain cultures that I've like come to know that I'm glad I know now because hopefully it'll help me out in the future one day. And part of going to Mount Tabor is getting to like know everybody, because if I feel personally that I've never been affected by the color of my skin or anything, I feel that everyone has an equal chance. And yeah, thank you.
To piggyback on him, I go to Parkland, so we also deal with a lot of stuff like that. Some people may feel like they can't play a certain sport, or maybe they don't fit in because of who they are, whether black, white, Asian, Chinese, whatever it is. That's pretty much. I was just trying to piggyback of what all they said.
They pretty much said what I was going to say, but I also think that diversity helps you learn better because the way you're treated also impacts the way you learn. So diversity helps your education, not just how you feel.
We're gonna move on to the next question. We're gonna try to get in about 2 to 3 responses per question because we really want to be able to tackle all the questions on the agenda tonight. And yeah, we're gonna just move on to the next one. Is race an easy or difficult issue to discuss, and why?
I do believe that race is a tougher subject to discuss for the reason that everyone do not have the same background or experience that one person may have. So for me to come up to somebody and that's of a different race and try to express my experience or my feelings on a topic, I may feel that they may not understand where I'm coming from. And that brings it back to where the barrier is between for all ethnic groups and races.
I would agree with that. Also because every time we try to talk about race, we're always making these assumptions, trying to be less offensive. And it's a good thing to do to try to be less offensive, but being sensitive and being less offensive are two different things. And I think we need to realize that there's a difference between getting offended and, just general talking. Oh, sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on this.
We're gonna take the one down here.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of them. I just feel like I feel like everyone has their own views, so it's very hard to admit that some people may be right or some people may have a different view set, and most people would kind of shove it down your throat of their opinions and not be open for discussion of other people's opinions. So I think that's why it's difficult to talk about these things.
Hi. I believe race is not a hard subject to talk about. It's the fact that the truth is hard to talk about. Yeah. So I believe personally that, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, y'all. Okay. But no, I believe it's really not a subject to talk about, because honestly we need to talk about things like this to come as one, and when we don't talk about things, that's what separates, and we all go into different ethnic groups, or we don't want to hang out with this person because they come from this background, or we don't want to hang out with this person because they come from this background. But honestly, we just need to come as one. So that's why we need to talk about this, because it's hard. When we talk about race, we bring it back to slavery and the white folks beating us and all that good stuff, but we need to talk about that, because if we don't talk about it, the future is not going to change at all. It's going to repeat itself. So yes.
So that was a really great responses, you guys. But I would like to say again and reiterate this. when you answer the questions, make sure to state your name and your school and also your grade level. So we're going to move to the next question. Here you go. Have you ever discussed issues of race or ethnicity at your school? In what context and to what extent?
All right, so my name is Jesus. I'm a senior and I go to Atkins, and I was taking AP Psychology in 10th grade, and we spent a whole day talking about racism in the lunchroom. We talked about how our school was naturally segregated, how people of one certain race or ethnicity would like to sit with their own group and not with the other group. And it was actually a pretty productive discussion, and we were able to just point out the places where we saw people were intermingling. We were seeing more of those interracial friendships and things like that. Like my friend group personally has 1 Asian, 2 black people, 1 white person, and then another Hispanic like me. So I feel like that is becoming more common, especially at my school at Atkins.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Leonard. I'm from Ronald Reagan High School. It was just last year, if any of you know, about the parking issue where some racial slurs were said about African Americans, and a group of us got together and discussed about what happened there. And I feel that by discussing it, we kind of all, because it was people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and I feel by discussing that, we kind of got all together, and that was not really a true representation of what Ronald Wilson Reagan High School is, and we kind of all came to that point of an agreement.
Is there anyone else who would like to answer that question? Okay, so we're going to move to our next question. Do you have close friends that are of a different race? Do you find it difficult to relate to some races or cultures? So we're going to start from the back.
Before I start, I just want to say I am nervous, so excuse me. I'm sorry. My name is Stephen Thon. I go to Carver High School, and I am a senior. But to answer your question, I do have a best friend that's a different race. He's Caucasian, and we hang out. He's like my brother. It's sometimes hard to relate to him because he want to go golfing and stuff like that. I don't know nothing about golf. Or he be want to go hunting in the woods at night. I'm like, hey man, I don't go out at night because But hey. I love him, so whatever he want to do, I'm for it. He's been my role model. Been in my life for all my life and all that. So, yeah. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So, my name is Carlos. I go to Mount Tabor. So yes. I have a lot of close friends who are of different races. I believe that sometimes it is a little difficult to try to understand their cultures or what they believe in. But somehow, some way, I feel like I've tried to understand it, and most of my friends are pretty cool when it comes to helping me, comprehend what they're about and their beliefs. So. Yeah, I do think I have friends of other race.
Hi, I'm Gabriella. I'm a junior at Mount Tabor, and I have 2 close friends, 1 Chinese and 1 Arabian. And this past summer, I got a wonderful experience with a college program at WSSU, learning Chinese there. So, and he had helped me and opened that door to me. So now I go over his house sometimes and I talk with his family and I get to practice my Chinese. And then this upcoming summer I'll be learning I'm sorry y'all, but my friend's Arabian, so I'm going to be learning languages with her mom too. So but having friends of different cultures and races will help me learn more languages so I can become the doctor I want to be. So
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next question. What are some barriers that keep students from making friendships or relationships across racial lines?
All right, again, I'm Jackson Monell, sophomore from Parkland High School. I was gonna say maybe they don't feel comfortable around them, the way they talk or the way they act. So it kind of puts a barrier between who they are, and they don't just want to hang around them because of who they are.
To add on to what he said, I feel like some students don't understand the struggle that some students out here are really doing. Some parents are really not taking care of their children like they're supposed to. So, within, in my opinion, I feel like it's by how you were raised. So they're not really gonna understand what you've been through unless you talk about it.
I'm Obed Salazar. I'm a sophomore at Washington High School. A few barriers that keep people from other races to be friends are not just us, but it's a parent's role that have to teach us that there are a bunch of other people. It's not just our color of our skin, but we have to learn how to be with other people. Barriers is the way we're raised, our cultural differences, our religions. Those type of things can cause us from not being able to be friends with someone else. Like I could be a Christian and he could be a Muslim, but we have so many things in common, but just that little difference could cause us from stop being friends. But it shouldn't be like that. It should be, we should accept the way how we are, but let's just accept it and be different.
I always want to say, color does not make a difference between all of us. We are all the same. Color don't make a change in between who we are.
Those were some really great responses, but we're gonna move to the next question. Do race relations affect classroom behavior and or academic achievement?
Hello, my name is Monet Reynolds. I'm a senior at Carver High School. I do believe that race relations affect academic success because, for one, I have a white teacher. My school is predominantly black, and I have a white teacher who feels the need to try to use like colloquialisms when he talks to me. Like instead of saying, "Do you want to go to the bathroom?" he'll try to say, "Hey, you want to go to the bathroom?" or something like that, you know. And I feel like that's unnecessary because I do know how to code switch. I can speak to my friends and then speak to an adult. But with that being said, we're in a learning environment. I'm in school, you know. There's a time and place to speak everywhere and to speak that certain way. So if I'm in school, I'm not really trying to hear you speak as if you're 12 years old because I don't speak as if I'm 12 years old. So I would like to, you know, be spoken to as if I am the young adult that I am and not spoken to as if I'm, you know, I've never stepped outside of the hood before.
Hi, I'm Stephen Sullivan III. I am a junior at Reynolds High School. Yes, I do think it does impact the classroom because when I walk into my fourth period class, on the right side is always the African Americans and the Hispanics, and then you look on the left side, you always have your Caucasians, and then you have some like your people who's mixed, or I know I have one that is Chinese, so we never, and then it's like right in the middle, it's a big gap because we're so diverse, and then when it's time to work with each other, we're always so nervous, and then we always want to work with the people that we know instead of the people we don't know, so we can get to know each other, so we can all get a different feel of how we all can know each other and also help each other learn. So yes, it does impact the classrooms very much.
All right, so we're gonna take this last response. Go ahead, it's fine.
Honestly, I believe, yes, it does affect the classroom because personally for me, we go to basically all black school. So as for that being said, in our classrooms, so already people speak bad on Carver as it is. They think it's the ghetto, it's in the hood. So the school is honestly taught like that. We are taught like 3-year-old people. They believe in mastering learning. So to me, I went to Walkertown before. If I turn in my work, if I turn in my work, They were graded, and that is it. At Carver, you can keep turning in stuff and turning in stuff. You can go down the hallway and cuss out teachers, and they will not say anything to you. So this is really, if we was more diverse, I honestly believe that would be a different subject, but it's the fact that we're not. And this is how I'm brought up in my school environment. This is what is really affecting and impacting my education, because the back row can't get the subject, so now we got to slow down for them, and that's really messed up. So yes, I believe it does have an impact on our school environment and where we're brought up and how we come. So yes, that's my input on that.
We have another response for this question.
I'm Jackie Nikas. I'm a senior and I go to Atkins High School. I think I'm in a school improvement team member, and we talk a lot about, diversity of the school, but then we don't talk about diversity of certain classrooms. So we see standard level and honor level and then AP level, and I don't see the diversity of 40-40-20 at Atkins than I do in my AP classes. And my teachers are amazing. They allow us to speak about it. But how much discussion can you have if I look around and the room is not, there's not people of color in there, maybe one or two? And I think that's something that I've learned, begins at like an elementary level about tracks and things like that. But we don't get told about that until you study it. And I think we should talk about that more.
So I just want to keep in mind, if you've spoken a lot already, give others a chance to speak, because we do have a few more questions to go through, okay? So our next question is, as your generation gets older, goes to college, and gets jobs, how will our nation's diversity affect your life?
Hi, I'm Kennedy. I'm from John F. Kennedy High School, and I'm a freshman. I personally think that your future jobs will be depending on skin color and race, but to a certain extent, everyone's born with the same right. You're able to go to college as it all depends on the effort that you put forward to it. But America has a tendency to say that we're all supposed to be equal, but it doesn't feel like that, because a person of a different ethnicity can go to another school and get higher grades and pay their way through college. But as an average black person or an average Hispanic person, you have to go off of student loans to pay for everything. And my thing is, we shouldn't be told that that we're not up to the standards of the U.S. because we're a different ethnicity, because most of America is minority. So I feel like that does depend on skin color, but it also depends on the effort that you put forward.
My name is Nigel Belcher. I'm a senior at Walkerton High School, and I feel that as our nation progresses, we will have a tendency to be closed-minded in a way that we will not be able to express our willingness to be open to all the other races out there when we go into the job force or the workforce or any career force that's out there. We have a problem, and it has been a problem since we came over to North America, starting with the Indian Removal Act. We moved people from a land that they was already here on because we were so closed-minded, want to start a new system that we wanted over here.
Wait, can I go? Yeah, I want to go. Okay. Well, yeah, I have to agree with you, definitely, and you too. But I also think that we should, I'm Catherine King, and I'm from East Forsyth, by the way. I personally think that we shouldn't let our stereotypes or our background define who we are. Yes, some people come from harder backgrounds, but at the same time, it's up for you to put the effort and the energy and determined mind to do it. Because I know a lot of kids at East Forsyth High School that are non-white and they're like, oh, I don't want to take this class because it's too hard. I struggle in my hard classes, and I have great teachers that help me to improve, and I do make better grades. So it's not that it's just because it's necessarily hard. You have people who are willing to help you if you just find the right people.
We're gonna take one more response and move to the next question.
Okay, so kind of to add on to what he said, it has a lot to do with not just schools, but people as themselves. Like back then, there was a lot of court cases, just like the Charlotte Mecklenburg one, that they wanted to force people to integrate, but we can't. You can't be forced. It's something that you have to learn and want for yourself. If you don't choose to try to make a change, then you're not going to do anything. If you don't try to understand where people are coming from, then you're just as bad as everyone else.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and move to the next question. Do you feel that your school adequately prepares you for the diversity of the world? Okay, we're gonna get the person on the back row first.
Hello, again, my name is Monet, and I go to Carver. I personally do not feel as if my school prepares me for the future. For instance, of course, every school has, the bad group, the kids who don't know how to act. But I feel like the spotlight is put on them too much. Too often do the good kids who do their work, who go to class, who attend the meetings they're supposed to, or just act as if they have home training, they get pushed under the carpet. They don't get the recognition, and that's what adults, I don't think they understand. Just sometimes just saying good job, you did a good job on whatever, no matter how big or small it is. I don't think they realize how important that can be to us, because like Steven said, a lot of us aren't getting that at home. And I know it's nobody's job to come to school and be a parent, but with that being said, I feel like as a teacher, if you see a kid is lacking certain skills or isn't getting disciplined at home, I can't speak for anyone else, but me, myself, I would be the one to step in and just be like, stop cursing in the hallway. There are adults around. That's not how you act in front of an adult. You're not grown. I'm not grown, and I'm 18, but still, I'm not going to come out of my mouth and be like, oh, yeah, and just F this and F that, just simply because it's rude, number one. Two, we're in school. And then if I go to work and curse out my manager, I'm getting fired. Nobody's going to send me to an office to sit in and just, get a pat on the back and be like, oh, it's going to be okay, despite the struggles I may have had before I come to school. Life doesn't work like that. You have to learn how to, flow with emotions and hold things in that need to be held in. So I feel like Carver could just do a little bit better of a job at getting kids to realize the real world does not care about your feelings.
Okay, we're gonna have the person in the front go next.
Stephen Sullivan, RJ Reynolds, and also to add on to what you say, some teachers, or most of them, they don't get you ready for the real world. They get you educational wise. But as far as going off by people and of what they think of you, they don't do that. They just talk about you just need to go ahead and get your GPA up. You just need to go ahead and figure out what college you're going to go to. Is it 2-year, 4 years, a community, big college, HBCU, all this. So they don't talk about what the real world's going to think about you, because they don't, as she said, they don't care about how you feel. They don't care about what you look like. They just caring about if you can do this or that. So I think we all either would love it if all the schools can get together and if we can all just talk about what the real world, because in the real world it's not easy. And it's not going to be easy. Some days it might be light, other days it's going to be heavy. But other than that, it's not going to be easy. We all going to have our challenges. If not, we're going through them now or later in life. Maybe we don't know what the future holds. But we need to talk more about what's the future is going to hold for us, and then we need to talk about more of what's going on in society today.
Obed Salazar from Oakland High School, sophomore. The school only has a certain limitation that, they can give us. The best way they can get us, make groups and make the groups as diverse as they can, but they can't tell us to learn how to accept someone else. It would be a parent's job to do that, technically, to teach them. Just because he's that certain color doesn't mean you don't like him. But the school in itself has to work better with getting more diverse groups, creating diverse teams, not just because he looks like he's good should be the way they should put them on a team. Me as in myself, I'm in different many clubs, and I see that there's a lot of diverse in there, but then there's always, in the clubs, they always get separated. We separate into them, and them. Like, we could get the smart people, the not as smart, and then there could be the one that doesn't know as much. But the school itself should start making more groups that diverge, create diversity in there. Get like more people to get interact in there, not just because of who they are technically. That's all.
We're gonna move on to our next question. Let's see. Do you feel that you are fully accepted by society? How can we, as a community, show our acceptance of diversity in different cultures?
So I'm going to allow the girl in the back row with the blue jacket on to go first. We want to try to make sure that everyone gets a chance of answering questions as well.
My name is Giselle, and I'm a sophomore at Kennedy. I just want to say I'm kind of sick right now, so sorry if I sound kind of weird. But do I feel like as if I'm accepted in society? Personally, I do feel, maybe it's because of my school, but I don't feel like my parents are, because they immigrated from here, and I don't want to, like, on the back of my head, like, every day, I don't want to, like, think, oh my gosh, what if I come home and don't see my parents? Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Am I never gonna see my parents again? What am I gonna do? Because I have four little siblings. They all look up to me. Sometimes I gotta be strong for them, and I don't want to, like, one day come home and like, I'm sorry, come home and see that my parents aren't there because they've been taken away. They've been taken away just because people don't think that they deserve to be there, but they come for us. All they've been through is for us. Sorry. They've struggled for like a lot. There's a lot of stereotypes for them. People come around like, oh, are you gonna work at Taco Bell? Are you gonna work at Taco Bell or McDonald's? And I'm like, no, like, I want to strive for better than that. I want to, make my parents proud. I want to make their effort come into work because I don't want them to think, oh, I came over here. I traveled like 3 days without water, without food, just for you to work at McDonald's. I want them to be proud of me, and I want them to see, wow, yes, that's my daughter. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ashley Perez. I'm from Carver High School. And with that being said, my parents are also immigrants, and they always try to provide everything that is here, they are both hardworking parents, and I feel like they always try to tell me to do better so I won't work in a factory like my father is. And I feel like I am accepted in society, especially me going to Carver, is majority African American in that school, but they never make me feel left out. I'm always accepted. I'm a varsity cheerleader, but you never see that. You never see a Mexican in the varsity cheerleading team, but I always feel accepted. I always feel accepted with the SGA government thing. I always feel accepted with my friends. They always make me feel like I'm welcomed, and yeah.
Hello, I'm Sofia Maldonado. I'm a 12th grader in Parkland. So I also want to bring light upon the fact that voting registration has already started for the people that are 18 years old. As a community, I don't want to disrespect the older generation, but we, as teenagers, are the community. So if we want there to be a difference in the future, we have to make a difference right now, that we have the opportunity to make that difference. I just wanted to say that.
All right, so my name is Carlos Palomo, and by now you guys know that I go to Mount Tabor. So I can honestly say that I'm not the only minority up here. And as a minority, we're probably never going to be fully accepted. But we also got to think, what if Obama had said that 8 years ago or like 11 years ago? He went to be the first black president, and just like every other race here, every race has had at least one person who has gone on to do great things. So we might never be accepted by society, but we gotta at one point we gotta say, you know what, that doesn't matter. We're gonna strive to do great things because a lot of people have gone on to do it, and why can't we do it if we're the future of this country?
We're going to move on to our next question before we start taking questions from the audience. And that last question is, what more can we do to improve the race relations within the community of Winston-Salem?
Jackson Monell, sophomore, Parkland High School. I wanted to say, pretty much all we got to do is stop acting like a diverse community and just come together as one. It's not just in Winston-Salem, it's all around the whole world. Y'all remember 9/11, right? White people this, black people that. We so diverse, but that day, those firefighters, they came in, helped all the people. Even if it was just one person, two people, three people, they still saved them and died for them. And it's just not just that day. It's all the important days in history I can't remember. I'm sorry, but that's all I thought of. But like, that's really the most important day. And we're not really a diverse community. We just say that we got to come together as one. That's all I got to say.
Hi, I'm Sean Kirby from Middle College, and the question was, what more can we do to improve race relations within the community? And I think this kind of goes back to the way I answered my first question, is a sensitivity issue. We need to start talking about these issues like we're doing now, having these forums. And obviously, one of the big problems is diversity. We always talk about cliques in high school and how people say they have all these different colored friends, but, you know, when they get to school, they get with their white friends or their African-American friends, and sure, you're friends with them, but, you know, you just group up and you group away from the actual diverse. So I think we should start talking about it more, just like this, and this is progressive, and yeah.
We're going to take 2 more responses on this question before we move on, and again, if anyone hasn't gone and would like to do something, we'd highly encourage them to do so.
I'm Jackie Nikas from Atkins High School. I'm a senior. I think at the school level, our peers should encourage other peers, people of color, to run for office, like SGA, leadership, because leadership at a school that's 40-40-20 is still mostly white. 12 junior marshals and 1 person of color. These are things that we can talk about, yes, the diversity of whole, but we have to start looking at, is it really diverse at these levels? Because that's where leadership and scholarship opportunities and things like that occur.
Okay, this is my last time, y'all. But I feel like we can improve race relations. Everybody kind of touched on what I'm about to say, but people tend to shy away from things like that because it's a difficult subject, you know. Nobody wants to say, never mind. But like when we talk about it at my school, people are afraid. I'm not Mexican, but like I've heard people tell me, don't say Mexican as if that's offensive. But that's, you know, that they refer to themselves as Mexican, so what else am I supposed to say, you know? I feel like if people were to stop being so like, oh, no, we can't talk about slavery, you know, and sensitive to things as such, then we'll be able to progress and move on into, you know, really becoming as one. And also, sorry, but people say, I don't see color. That's also an issue because despite what it is on the inside, I see that you're black. I see that she is white. And that is what it is, you know, and people, like I said, they're sensitive to the facts, but it is what it is. So I feel like if people were to just, you know, be honest about things, that's when we can take that next step into becoming one and not just,
Okay. Hi, I'm Gabriella, junior at Mount Tabor, but just to go back, and since the elections are coming up, President Trump said we are going to make America great again. But how can we make it great again when we're all so diverse? and we're so sensitive to different things, and we can't just accept each other for who we are. So that's one of the main issues. So just like accepting people and not being so sensitive to things, so we can make America great again, and that just, you know, make everything great again. And then it will get out to the whole entire world, and the world will see that America is not just some stupid country, you know. So maybe just accepting and trying to make America great again, also with, you know, the economics and environmental issues, things going on, we can all come together and try and make a difference in that too.
So far we have 2 questions from the audience. If you would like to submit another question, there should be note cards available and something to write with. So we're going to right over there. Yep. And we're going to start with the first one. So do you feel that peers or teachers are more equipped to check poor behavior? And who would you more likely listen to? Oh yeah, my bad. Let's see. Do you feel that peers or teachers are more equipped to check poor behavior? Who would you rather listen to? Yeah.
All right, so my name is Jesus Jimenez. I'm a senior at Atkins High School. I think in the social aspect of things, it's more often the students who call each other out, because there's multiple different things that go on. You can make fun of someone casually for some way that somebody acts, and some person might actually take that seriously and like try to change that. Or if some person is trying to reach out, trying to make new friends of different colors, they might adjust things by what people say to them, by the advice that their students gives, and not really the teachers, because the teachers can't really relate to that.
I know there were some folks on the other side who didn't hear the question, so I'll just read it again. Do you feel that peers or teachers are more equipped to check poor behavior, and who would you listen to?
Jackson Monell, sophomore, Parkland High School. So it depends, really. Like, it depends on how the teacher says it or the peer says it. Sometimes the teachers don't get where you're coming from. They'll say something because of who you are, or they might really understand. Or the peer doesn't really check you. He says something bad just to get you even more trouble, or they really understand where you come from. It just depends on how they say it, really.
My name is Mackenzie Leonard from Reagan High School, and I feel personally that it's more peers that I would respond to more, especially going with like the racial slurs and stuff like said like that. I feel that, okay, you go to a teacher, you tell a teacher about it, they give you kind of like a D1 and then it's kind of over with. But if your peers say, hey man, that's not cool, or you're not supposed to say that, I feel like it will have more of an effect on a student than having a teacher just say, oh, you're not supposed to do that, you're getting written up, or something like that.
Honestly, I will listen to my peers before I listen to a teacher. My name is Josria. I attend Carver High School, and I'm a junior. Oh my God. I heard way too much out here. Okay, I really don't need this mic. But okay, so I will honestly listen to my peers before I listen to a teacher, because honestly, we know teachers do not get the best pay out here. And honestly, I think some teachers are just teachers just to be a teacher. Some teachers honestly do not care about half of their students. They don't care what grade you make in that class. They just they will assign, my teachers, honestly, let me stop talking so fast. Okay. My teachers, I had teachers who assign me computer work. That is it for the rest of the class. They don't have the care to teach you, come by you, talk to you, sit with you, actually teach you something. They will give you a computer assignment, have you talk to your peers to get the assignment done. So for that being said, of course I'm going to listen to my peers before I listen to a teacher, because at least my friends actually care about me and actually care about where I'm going. Depending on the right crowd you got around you, my friends actually care about me. And before a teacher does, they do not care. They just want their pay. They just want to see you and get you out their class. My friends are actually going to sit down and be like, hey, Josh, you going past the speed limit. Hey, Josh, you got to chill out. Like, you can't drive. Hey, Josh, you got the answer wrong. You need to check yourself. I will honestly listen to my friends. So that is it for what I got to say about it.
We're going to move on to the next audience-submitted question, and this has to do with AP courses. Do you feel that AP courses lack diversity because students of color feel that they are not welcomed in those classes and that their friends are not in those classes?
I'm Tamara Smith from Reynolds. I'm a junior. Okay, So I take APES, which is AP Environmental Science, and I know I have one person I always sit with, and that's the only other black female in that class. And we will discuss with our teacher about the diversity, and I just feel like people don't push people like minorities to take AP classes, because it's like you're always saying, oh, you're not smart enough for that class, you're gonna do bad in that class. So I just feel like as a whole we should encourage more people to take harder courses in general, not just saying as a minority, like just do better with yourself, like, because if you feel like you can't do something, it shouldn't be I can't do it because I'm black, I can't do it because I'm this color or that color. It should be I can't do it because I'm holding myself back, not because I'm not smart enough to get in that class and succeed in that class.
Stephen Thorne from Carver. Me personally, I hate the word can't. Can't, in my definition, is a failed attempt, as in you tried but you didn't give me your best. I don't really care if you're an AP or not an AP. You like, what's the difference? You still got the answer. You just title. It's just a title, in my opinion. AP really doesn't matter. You can be the smartest kid, but still not get AP just because. You could be the smartest kid or like the wisest kid, but still not getting an AP, which doesn't matter. It's not because you're not smart. It's just because he got a different answer from you. That's my opinion on AP classes and all that. Who next?
Okay, I'm Karen. I go to West, and I'm a junior. I got recommended from Career Center as I'm the only minority in my AP Lang class. So that I also feel like had a lot to do with why I was chosen. Not because necessarily I was smarter than everyone else around me. That's not what it has to do with at all. But I take APs because I like to push myself more. When I first moved here, I was recommended for foundations, a regular, all throughout middle school and even the beginning of high school. And it had a lot to do with because I was from the other coast and because I was Mexican. And it was more difficult to prove to myself and everyone around me that I deserve to be in the classes I am in. And I believe that people should take it, honors, seminar, regular, whatever. You still have to say, like, you still have to speak your mind. And you have to let people know the other side of everything else.
So we're going to move on to the next question. How do you feel that you can break generational racist habits from your forefathers? So I encourage anyone who hasn't spoke yet, if you would like to speak. Okay, the question is, how do you feel that you can break generational racist habits from your forefathers?
Okay, so I'm Jahar Fonseca. I go to Glenn High School. I'm a junior. And I think it starts with us. We have to be the change. We have to teach our children the ways, our peers, our siblings. It starts with us.
My name is Aishi. I go to Walkerton High School. I'm a senior. And kind of piggyback off of what she said, we do have a problem to where people do not want to take initiative to do something first. And in order for us to break something, we have to take initiative to do it. And with that being said, we can't change what our founding fathers have done, but we can change on what we're going to do to make sure we have a successful future.
Owen Salazar. Yeah. Owen Salazar from Walkerton High School, sophomore. It's just like they said. We have to be the ones to stop something. In a domino reaction, when you push something, it continuously happens. And the only way to stop something like that is you put a barrier, you stop it, or you remove something. So technically, we're the ones supposed to remove those stereotypes, saying don't be with them because they're something else. We're the ones changing the world. We're going to be the future of America. We're the future bosses. We're the future presidents. We're the ones that are going to be teaching. We're supposed to teach our future children what we're going to be doing in the future, what they should do. That's it.
My name is Mackenzie Leonard from Reagan High School. I'm a senior. I just want to say something real quick. Racism is not, you're not born with it, it's taught. So it starts with the parents. It starts with coming up a certain way. So how you are raised, and it starts at that foundation of making sure that not that you don't see color, but you recognize our differences and we accept our differences.
So we're gonna go to our last question. This one is really gonna catch you guys. What role does social media play in race relations? We could go all night on this one, literally.
All night long. Okay. In my opinion, I feel like we are corrupted by social media because we have nothing else to do. Like, we don't go out. Like, for real though, like, name the last time y'all been outside to play. Okay. Like, yo. Yeah, like, you feel me? But, you know, I got you. Okay. But like she was saying, Christmas time, I remember when I got my first present. What? Boots on, coat on, ready to go outside, showing what I got. Well, now it's like, like, I just got it. You know, I don't care. It's like social media is just like evil in my opinion. It's just like we don't have nothing else to do, but we talk about our feelings, our families on social media. Feel me? Huh? Hey, it's brainwashing us.
So I know someone wanted me to repeat the question, so I'm going to repeat it one more time. What role does social media play in race relations? Also, we're going to try to do people who haven't spoke a lot to finish it off.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm Lucas. I'm a senior at Reagan. I think coming from a place like Reagan that's more than 70% white, I'm pretty sure. Also with social media, it's really easy behind a screen to say things that you maybe don't necessarily mean, but it's also, it's easier to say things you might say that you would deem offensive maybe in a social setting, but behind a screen it's easy to say something that it would strike someone as offensive in real life. So I think social media maybe can like make that more of an antagonizing factor in racism.
So how are we gonna take one more?
Hold on. Oh.
I'm Aaliyah Williams. I'm from East Forsyth. I'm a senior. I do think people are going to do what they see on social media. So it's like, oh, I'm sorry. So it's like for rap music, for instance, people are going to like do what the lyrics are saying and stuff like that. Especially if a Caucasian people like hear rap music, they might think it's okay to say the N-word, and it's not okay. Like, so yeah. So that's the thing.
Okay, so we're gonna go just about one more question. Again, if you haven't answered any of the questions and you feel the need to do so, feel free to finish it off.
My name is Jaron Scott. I'm from West Forsyth. Repeat the question, please.
What role does social media play in race relations?
See here. Basically, everybody's hiding behind the screen, and social media is just holding us back from interacting between each other. And if we could just interact with each other, this problem of racism wouldn't even be a problem today.
Okay, so we're gonna have one last person speak. So go ahead.
My name's Jada Newsome, and I go to Glenn. I honestly disagree. I think that social media is actually a very big impact on our life, and
it does good as well, because when you see things like, it's not only here in North Carolina, it's all over the world. Oh, it's all over the world, and to see that it's going on in other countries as well, to other races, it's just very empowering, because you makes you want to make a difference.
I believe that is it, unless someone had a very, very short response.
Back to the question about the whole race impact on social media. Yes, it has a big impact, because police brutality, it is a big thing out here, and that has an impact because we see what is really happening out here. And then when they take it to the court, the police, we're not getting justice for the black people like Sandra, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner. We're not getting justice for them. So it has a big impact, because we're seeing the video. Let me keep it short. That's it.
And on that note, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Me, honestly, I'm neutral. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. Social media is a positive and a negative effect, especially on us teenagers, because our mind is so wrapped up on social media to where we got to check Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever other social medias, because if they actually took away, if phones wasn't even invented, we'd probably be outside playing with each other, being on the swings, or probably being home before the street lights come on. And then, but social media can be a positive or a negative effect on it, because it can show us what the real world is, not only in North America, but it can show us what's going on around all over the world. And then also it can be a negative, because you see so much drama and so much fighting and killing that's going on. So social media can play both parts of it.
Okay, I'm trying to keep it short, but I'm gonna kind of talk on a different subject than what everybody else talked on. One thing that goes on social media a lot, if, let's say, like a native Indian, they post a picture with their tribal clothes on and their hair braided a certain way or certain marks on their body, and then let's just say an Asian girl, because I don't want to say white and black, let's say an Asian girl sees that and like, oh, that's cute, let me go get that outfit, not knowing at all the meaning behind what they actually have on. Like Kim Kardashian tried to make out a thing called kimono, not knowing that kimonos were Asian or Japanese, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, Japanese culture, which I feel like is a big part of what social media has to do with it, because they see it on social media and they think, oh, it's cute, rather than, okay, this outfit may have an actual meaning behind it, or certain names. It was one name that had a meaning that you wouldn't want to call yourself, but because people were just going on along with it on social media, a bunch of females were calling themselves that and didn't even know what it meant till like 2 months later. But they're embarrassed because, they were saying the things that they don't know what they mean. So I feel like social media just has to, I don't know, something like that, Amen, Steve.
Oh, so that's all the time that we have. This has been an awesome conversation. I think one thing I noticed is how much y'all supported each other during this and made sure that everyone's voice was heard. And that wasn't us. That was like 100% them, stepping up and helping each other. So I think that's awesome. What I want to do is, if we could have just everyone, just a more general round of applause for them being willing to come out and talk about a difficult thing, or yeah. And the last thing that we want to do is if we could get a picture. So we'd like the back row, if y'all could stand up, and if the folks with human relations and the school district and the library could get in the picture with them, that would be awesome.